Yeah, hi guys, Ron from Truth About Addiction. Just thinking this morning about recovery, and the hardest part for recovery for me wasn't learning the programs, the principles and all that sort of stuff. The hardest part for me was the unlearning the ways that I reacted and acted, and my thought patterns were really, really weird. Like if you did me wrong, I wanted to harm you. If you did me good, I wanted to have sex with you basically. And I was so confused and so lost. My concept of a male was all different. I thought, a man was, this tough guy that didn't show emotion, didn't cry, and was revengeful, and the bullshit stand-up guy. And the reality was, look, there was no principles anymore in being a crim. I don't even think there was a principle when I was a kid, and I thought there was. Like, I look back at all the old gangsters that my father grew up with, and every single one of those guys, they were screwing each other's misses. My old man was bad for that sort of stuff, and someone would do a bank robbery and they'd get money and they'd stash it somewhere, and then someone else would steal it, and it was just, there was no principle. It was all a lie. The whole thing was a lie. And then when I started using drugs, and they sort of wiped me for being in the criminal organisations and in the world that I grew up in. They was like, oh, junkies are weak cunts, blah, 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 and all that sort of stuff. They weren't any better. They were just deceitful, dishonest, horrible men. This is long before drug addiction came along. And then in the 70s, when I became a drug addict, I was ostracised and, black sheep from the union rooms, and he's a junkie and all that stuff. And then the years, as the years went by, a lot of those guys that were bagging me for being junkies became junkies. Even the older blokes all got on the coke and just, all lost the plot. And, it's quite a funny world that we live in. But yeah, so the hardest thing for me wasn't learning how to live a day at a time without using drugs. The hardest thing for me was learning not to think the way I thought, about crime, about revenge, about anything I want, just take it. So it's been an unlearning program. It's so funny that when I think about, I was always taught that I was a dickhead and I was dumb. I'm not dumb, I'm actually quite smart, and I'm actually quite resilient too. And it's a really nice thing to know that learning was easy, unlearning was difficult, and unlearning took a long time. But just for the day, I'm so grateful that I've unlearnt a lot of stuff. I'm still unlearning. I'm still, I don't believe I'll ever be perfect, but I didn't come here to be perfect. I came into recovery to learn one day at a time how to live without destroying my mind and my soul by sticking some sort of chemical in my body and destroying my family and friends. And just for the day, society's a better place with me in recovery than it ever was with me using. Thanks, guys.